Hey, Tubies! Woo, here we are. It's Sunday night. And it's 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific, 1 a.m. London time, 2 a.m. Paris time. You know what that means? It's time for, what is it time for, Lady Angela?
The witching hour.
That's right. We got our old crew back together. We're all here. We're so excited to be here with you guys. And I tell you, it's been a busy day for me. Sanctified's been busy doing readings. I tell you, I got more people calling than I know what to do with. But that's okay. I'm having a great time. I'm so enjoying getting a chance to meet all of you and sit down with you. I want everybody here to say hello. Lady Angela, why don't you say hello? We'll go down the line here.
Hi, everybody. Super excited for tonight's show. Super excited to see you all here and excited to see what we're going to talk about tonight.
That's right. Well, we're going to talk about all sort of things mystical and magical. Lord Tony, why don't you just give a shout out here?
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here. Should be a great show tonight. I'm here with my brand spanking new bag of wasabi peas. It should be a good night tonight. So,
all right. Lord Tony, I'm going to come over and get some of those wasabi peas.
Yeah. As long as you want to deal with the cold, that's fine.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm munching on Fritos. I'm not being endorsed by Fritos, but if they want to do a brand deal, I'm open to it. Lady Carol, why don't you give us a shout out here?
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be here. I hope you have a wonderful evening with us, and I hope you return in the future.
And Lady Carol, I got to say, your goddess in the background is looking very elegant. Tell us about her.
Thank you. Yeah, she's actually getting ready for her spring debut. She is holding the sacred staff.
Oh, beautiful.
But, she's already in her mother-ready.
Your goddess is
beautiful holding the staff. My goodness.
I'm loving it.
She guards the staff. And when I need it, she'll let me borrow it and do what I got to do.
I love that.
I love it. I have a goddess similar to yours, and I just bought a bunch of beautiful silver lame fabric because I'm making a moon goddess gown for her.
Nice.
So I'll be showing her off soon. So I'm excited.
Well, right now she's dressed in her white gown. And she has her yellow sash.
Beautiful. She's just spectacular. Well, I tell you, it's so wonderful to see Lady Carol's goddess because, part of the craft, as many of you here know, is that we worship a dual divinity, a god and a goddess. And, in our Western culture, so many of us are fixated on the god that we sometimes forget the goddess. And a lot of people say, gee, when they came to the craft, they discovered that there's a mama god too, And when I was in the spiritual church, we used to call it Mother, Father, God. And I always liked that. And I said, oh, there's a mother god? And my teacher said, oh, yes. And that was the first time I ever heard of the goddess. And it was later on when I went to the Hindu temples that I really got to know the goddess. The Hindus have goddess Durga, goddess Kali, and Parvati, and all the great goddesses. And I just love Lakshmi. They're all wonderful. So every time I see Lady Carol's goddess, I'm reminded of what a blessing the goddess has been in my life. You guys know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I wanted to share with everybody something that just resonates with goddess energy that I got recently, which is a selenite palm stone. And it's like holding the full moon in your hand. I just really, really am attached to this stone now. And it's full of goddess energy and moon energy. And I wanted to share that tonight with everyone.
Isn't that wonderful?
That's a nice one.
It just glows. I just love selenite. It's one of my favorites. It just glows.
That is amazing.
Doesn't it look like the full moon? It's gorgeous. I love it. I'm crazy about it. I found it on Amazon, and I'm just in love with it.
It's funny because I've never seen selenite in a different shape than in its tubular shape. So to me, that's a really amazing piece.
Yep.
Not to take away from Angela's piece, but yeah, I got a pyramid here too that if you wanted to see that too, Bob.
Oh, what is that? Is that selenite also?
That's also selenite, yeah.
I see. This is new. I did not know selenite could be carved because I thought the structure of the stone made it difficult to carve.
Oh,
Wow.
No, it's super smooth. I've carved them into teardrop shapes, wand shapes.
Oh, you've worked with them.
Yeah, they're easy to sand.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't that
Okay,
amazing?
we got our first question for tonight. Simba has a question. What do you think about physical energy manipulation and transformation and instant physical manifestation?
Well, I think it's great when you can achieve it.
Right.
You know, this is a really interesting question because as a medium, there is an element called physical phenomena when a medium's power combines with spirit power and actually makes things appear physically, whether it's a spirit body or an object. So I do believe it's possible. Now, that is through spiritualism. And I'm not sure if Simba's asking about, can we just materialize an object on our own? And I would say to that, yes, I do believe ultimately we have that power as well. Because, I've been reading recently ancient books about the ancient yogis of India. And some of them were able through, they call it siddhi power, to materialize objects, which is a form of magic. So can it be done? Yes. Is it easily done? I understand more.
I'd like to add on that, the whole basis of Wicca and law of attraction and law of projection is not necessarily making an object or something physical appear like poof, or even a situation in life appear, which can be physical as well. But we create scenarios and send out energy and draw it to us. So in a way, that's what Wicca is. It's physically manifesting results in your life.
I agree. Sometimes our results are quick and sometimes they're slow.
Right.
I think, as we grow in our abilities, we can create a quicker turnaround sometimes. So, no.
Right. The Tech Wiccan asks, I have a question for Bob. When you first started doing readings, were you nervous? And if so, how did you get over it?
Well, let me tell you this. I didn't have time to get nervous because my first introduction to public work as a psychic was literally my teacher threw me out literally, and I'm not joking, on a stage in front of hundreds of people and said, "You're on." I had no time to be, I just literally was in the spotlight going, and then I just went into reading mode. And afterwards, I asked my teacher, I said, why did you do that? And she said, if I gave you time to think about it, you'd have been a nervous wreck. She said, you were trained, you knew how to do readings, you did smaller readings. She said, now you're ready for public work, and there's no time like the present. So, yeah, I was scared for about 5 minutes. And then I got over it. Anyway,
that's awesome. That's really awesome.
The way
I'm watching for more questions.
The way that I see it is like how we're sitting here now. Even though we're at home and we're all comfy and everything, we're still in public eye. And the way, we're sitting here right now, grouped together, enjoying our time with each other. We're not thinking about, oh my God, there's 50 million people watching me. It's like, you don't think about it. You just go with the flow.
Absolutely.
Open yourself up to that kind of concept and it's easy.
You said it perfectly. I think so, yes.
That's great.
Good. That was a good question, though. Yeah. It's neat to think back to the early days. I've been doing readings for over 30 years now. And, I don't know. I've gotten over stage fright, I guess.
I have a question for Lord Tony. Since you work with selenite, sometimes they get little nicks on them. What would you recommend for us to use to polish something like that out? Shallow, but it still nicks. Would you use a fine grain of sandpaper or a cloth or what?
Oh, yeah. yeah, I would go very fine grit sandpaper. Larger grits are just going to tear it apart. But, you know, when they say you can't, you know, get these wet, that I don't believe that one for a minute, because it, you know, look how long it took for them to make, and they're usually growing in a wet environment. Sanding them in water, wet sanding them, gives them a better finish anyway. So
Nice.
the water, you just put it on a paper towel, the stuff will dry out of there anyway. It's not going to just like dissolve it really fast.
Right.
It might just take a little bit off it, but it's gonna. You'll get a much better finish wet sanding them.
Ooh, good to know.
Now, what grit would you recommend? Would you recommend something like 220 grit or higher?
Higher, 600 or higher.
Good. Let's see. There's a chitter in the chat about Imbolc. We're super excited for Imbolc, aren't we, guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, we got our.
I've already set up the altar behind me, and I'm you know, slowly working in what I need to do to get it ready.
Awesome.
Yeah, in fact, our Imbolc ritual, Lady Angela, do you want to give the date on that?
Yep, February 2nd. Is it the 2nd that we're doing the ritual?
No, it's a Sunday, February 3rd.
The 3rd. The 3rd. I don't have my calendar up in front of me. Sorry.
It's going to be on the
3rd. Yep.
Yeah. Because the Saturday is the 2nd, but we're going to do the show as we always do on Sunday, so it'll be on the 3rd.
Got it. So February 3rd, be here. We're going to perform the Imbolc ritual. It's the same Imbolc ritual we performed last year. You could actually check the queue here on Spirit Channel for just type in Imbolc, IMBOLC. It should pop up. It's a Witching Hour episode. That same ritual. Or you could go over to Facebook, type in Order the Purple Cord, and I have posted there on our page the Imbolc ritual. So you should be able to find it there. And if otherwise, give us an email at readings@robert-hickman.com or to angela@rarewiccaspells.com. And we'll get you over a copy of it. Or Facebook us if you're our friends on Facebook, which most of you are. Just Facebook us and I'll send it over to you directly there too. So you could print it out, follow along, and we welcome you and invite you to do that with us. G-Dog has a question for Lord Tony.
Uh-oh.
G-Dog asks, will painting on shungite hurt it, or should I carve them? I think they're putting sigils on them.
I don't think the paint's going to hurt it at all, because when I got my shungite pyramid, it was raw form, but it was still a pyramid shape, but it was really dirty, hadn't been polished, and I put a coating of automotive clear coat over it so it wouldn't get dirt everywhere every time you handled it. It works just fine for me, so I don't think it's going to do anything to it.
Excellent answer.
Of course.
Right.
Hey, I want to give a shout out in the chat. Angela Locke is here. And Angela's from Britain, I believe Scotland. Correct me if I'm wrong, but she's staying up late to join us. She has a question tonight. She says, oops, I just lost it. Went by. Angela, hold on. Let me find your question. She wrote, oops, where'd it go? I just lost the question. She wrote, can we do a special spell for Imbolc? Yes, we are doing a special spell. And so, Lady Angela, you have that posted, don't you, on Facebook? Or is that
yes,
gonna
I
be
sure do. And that'll be next Sunday's show, right, guys?
Yes, next Sunday. So be here. Go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Order of the Purple Cord.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be there. And you can print it out or follow it along there. Yeah, so we are doing that.
Patrick Harper asks, hey, guys, do you have any advice for expecting parents?
Lord Tony's the one, and Lady Carol all y'all have children, so any of y'all could answer that. Lord Tony, I'm going to let you do that because you deal with your kids all the time.
Any advice for expecting parents? If you think you have enough diapers, you don't.
Or formula.
My kids went through diapers 10 times faster than you could buy them. So
right.
Get ready for a lot of carrying like this and walking to the bathtub, because when they have a blowout, it does not just go up their butt a little bit. It goes all the way up their backs, and you don't want to touch them. Drop them in the faucet, in the bathtub. Works wonders. Diaper usually falls right off with it. you're good to go.
That's the daddy point of view.
Yeah, I learned how to do world's fastest diaper changes. My kids love the world's fastest diaper changes. Like, ready? And they're like sitting like this and like, done. And they're like, ah.
That's great.
I developed a throwing arm because of my kids. My boys, now they're grown, but they were 18 months, well, they're technically 18 months apart, but chronologically 2 years. And by the time my oldest one turned 2, I had my oldest is born in October, and my baby was born in January, so that gives you an idea. So I developed a great throwing arm for diapers. It's like trash cans way over there. You know. So be prepared for those kind of things. Also, make sure you have enough baby formula. In my case, I was a breastfeeding mom. Hello. So when I was nursing my newborn, guess what? My older one was like, "Oh no, this one's mine." Be prepared for instances like that, because even if you have one that's, you know, older, they're gonna get that jealousy thing, and you may get little surprises like that. So for mom, be ready for it. You know, because you never know what's going to happen when you have that little sibling rivalry. Another good thing, always be on your guard, because my oldest son actually got into a mode where he wanted to help me with his baby brother, and I had him in the bassinet. I had already put them both down, or so I thought, and I heard a thud coming from the bedroom. Well, apparently the baby started squirming around in the bassinet. My oldest son jumps up, grabs the bassinet, and is trying to bring it to the living room, and turned the bassinet over, which in turn tossed my baby out, which hit a oak dresser, and he ended up fracturing his collarbone.
Oh no!
Yeah, don't worry, he paid him back years later, but I ended up having to take the baby to the hospital, them doing x-rays, telling me his collarbone was fractured, and going through a migraine of headaches, explaining how my newborn son got hurt.
Right.
You know, so always be on your guard, you know, because you never know what, you know, kids are going to do.
Right. That's great advice. Matt B asks, are there any books you can recommend?
I've found that not all books can relate to everybody. Certain situations, like what I just mentioned, they're not in a book. The only book I can suggest is your intuition. Go with your gut. Because half the time you read something in a book and you're like, well, the book didn't tell me that. It's not going to. Every situation is different. Every child is different. Every parent is different. You can read what you want in a book, and it may relate to you, but 9 times out of 10, it's a different situation. Go with your instinct.
Good answer.
Great advice.
Lotus Night Rain has a question. I think it's a good one. She says, I want to learn how to create spells. What's the tools and fundamentals I need to safely create a spell? Well,
well, when I do, first I think about, you write down the intent, and then I'll start doing research on what different elements, for something for each element that represents that intent. something of an air element, something of a color, different things that will represent that intent. And so I'll gather those things together. Then you need to write the words. So you need to write down your intent, and you kind of use a bit of poetry, you know, and sometimes you can use other spells and make them your own and form something for your intent. But you kind of, first thing I'll do is write down the intent, and then I go to my books I have books on correspondence that associate with different things. So I'll read through the list and think of, well, what do I have similar? And you just kind of pull it all together and you write it all down. Then it's the writing of those words that are specific to you and the intent that really, really makes it powerful for each of your unique situations. When I perform magic, I always research different spells that relate to what I want to do, and then I'll make something that's mine and original with those ideas that I've gathered. So that would be my suggestion on writing a spell. That's how I do it.
As for tools, you can use anything that the spell needs. If you want to talk about just what are traditional tools on the altar, there are 4 traditional tools. And it's the athame, the wand, the chalice, and the pentacle. And so most spells utilize one or more of these tools. So that's the traditional witch tools.
Right. And you'll think of things like some intentions have to do with different energies. Like if it's love spells and stuff, that associates with emotions and feelings, which is water elements, and different other things, depending, like a wish spell. A wish spell can use all different elements, but you think about how you want it to come about. Some things you might write on a paper and bury in the ground, and as it decays, or maybe put it in a flower pot, plant a flower over it. As the flower grows and that little paper's in there and it feeds the flower, your wish comes true. There's all different ways to use different elements for different intents. Some are all purpose, some are more specific. Like if you're a student and you're wanting to be able to study better and to absorb the knowledge you're learning, you might use air element type things. And especially like crystals that are the color, like citrine is wonderful for students and for learning. Yet it's an earth element, but it's yellow and it vibrates with the air energy. So there's just different things you think of, and you think about what you have and your intent, and you kind of put it together that way.
Thank you, Lady Angel. I think that's really good talking about the elementals, because I forgot to mention that with the tools, each tool is assigned an elemental energy. So the chalice, traditional, is a water-based tool. The wand is associated with air, the athame with fire, and the pentacle with earth. So, you know, you can think about those 4 classic tools, also how you would use them when you want to use them. You know, they represent those elements so they can strengthen the power of the spell.
Yep. Caitlin Andrews has a great question. They ask, do you have any advice for her mother? She's an empath, and because she's an empath, it's making her illness worse. And I go through that too. You know, sometimes at work, I'm having a great day, but maybe someone comes in that I work with that's upset for whatever reason. Maybe they're mad, maybe they're sad, maybe they're whatever. But I'm also an empath, and I'll absorb some of that energy, and it makes me not feel good. So what are ways for people like her mother and like myself and thousands of the rest of us?
I think being an empath, you need to learn how to shield and block some of that energy coming in. I also have the ability of empath. And what I traditionally do is before I go to bed every night, of course, I call on my guardians, I call on my angels, my guides, but I create a shield, a bubble around me. Okay? And this is where your white light visualizations come in. Mine are usually kind of a silver and gold when I create them, but create a shield, a barrier to keep that energy away from you as much as possible. Everybody has a different color of a shield that they use. You can do this at night when you go to bed, keep you safe while you sleep. in case you astral project out of your body. And you can also do it in the morning. Now, one thing a lot of people forget, when you get up in the morning, you're getting ready to go to work, you want to take a shower. Use that water. Use that water as a shield. Create your barrier while you're taking your bath. And then go on about your day. That's my advice. I don't know about anybody else here, but
that's exactly what I was. That's exactly what I was going to say. Except when I do mine, I like to do mine with spikes that kind of goes shooting out like this, like a porcupine. Just I don't know, it kind of scares things, and makes things different too, you know. And throw some purple lightning bolts through there once in a while. You know, gotta have fun with it too.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, you know, everybody has a different color and a different method. But if you visualize that, it should help a lot.
That's great advice. Squall Leanhart asks, Psychic Bob, do you think you'll bring back UFO Fridays?
Well, yeah, we will. Once I get my new camera, when I can actually get out and do searches and show you areas of activity. Yeah, that's been on my list. Technical problems have delayed me, you know, getting out, because I think it's great to sit and talk about UFOs, but it's much better to go out where they occur and really demonstrate. So we are going to be doing more of that in the coming weeks.
That's
good
awesome.
question. So not to worry, we'll get back to it.
Paranormal Seeker asks, I was wondering about purple glow on candle spells like energy. I've also had that occur quite a bit, actually, and I believe that shows the high vibration that's going on from the energy in the room, from your intentions, from your mind at that moment, the things that are processing, the messages coming and going. It resonates high vibration and a really good link.
I've seen that too. It's literally like a glowing cloud around the candle. Is that what you're talking about? Because that's
or even purple beams.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Yes, yeah. It's really fascinating.
It's a high vibration.
Yeah. High energy for sure.
Oh, John Snipes has a great question. I've been seeing spirits since I was a kid going through all my life. I'm 28 now, and I've noticed that I don't see as much as I used to, but I can see shadows. Any tips on how I can hone it?
You know, one of the things is that when we talk about spiritual sight and development, it will go through periods of being more active and less active. So don't feel bad if right now you're struggling with it, because it's an energy kind of current that runs. And the best thing you can do really is just sit down and make meditation a priority each day and work on opening that third eye. Do some research on the chakras as well, because sometimes your vision isn't going to be through the third eye. Like I'm a communicator life theme person, so I actually see through the chakra of the throat. That becomes my portal. And so knowing where your portal is will help you. Now, I think yours is actually in the third eye, to tell you. So I think working with the third eye, the gemstone lapis lazuli stimulates the third eye. So you might want to get one of those. It's a deep blue stone. Just lay back on the ground, put it on there, meditate a few minutes every day, bring the light into you. And also ask for your spirit people to help you see, and they can strengthen your aura and your energy so you'll have more access.
That's amazing. Lotus Night Rain asks a question regarding Imbolc. Is there a dish that is traditionally served on Imbolc? And I actually had printed out before our video a paper on Imbolc, which is one that you could get on my website at rarewiccaspells.com. But yes, foods traditional to Imbolc are dairy, spicy foods, raisins, pumpkin, sesame and sunflower seeds, poppy seed bread or cake, honey cake, pancakes, waffles, and herbal tea. I could read a little bit more here. The essence of Imbolc is conception, initiation, insight, inspiration, creativity, renewal, breath of life, life path, wise counsel, and prepare. It's the first stirring of Mother Earth, the growth of the sun god, and the middle of winter. The purpose is to honor the Virgin Goddess, and it's the festival of the Maiden of Light.
I love that. You know what, Lady Angela, there's a ritual that I forgot to tell people about last year, which is now we're thinking about it in advance, they can actually do also. And there's a tradition in the ancient Celtic practice of consecrating cloth to Brigid. And what you do is the night of Imbolc, you find a piece of cloth. Generally, it's traditional to use green cloth, but it can be any color. Green, white, or red are traditional. And you take it out and you tie it on a tree. And you leave the cloth out overnight on Imbolc. And it's believed that the spirit of Brigid will bless that cloth. And then people bring the cloth in, and usually what they'll do is they'll get a large piece, you know, and then they cut it into smaller squares, and then they give it to people throughout the year if they need healing or they need protection. And it's a beautiful thing. So you might want to think about, it's called, you know, the cloth of Brigid. Doing that is a way to connect with her energy.
That reminds me of the cloak of Mary.
Very similar. In fact, I think there's a link there because in the Catholic tradition, they have the scapular, which is a little piece of cloth you wear, which is the cloak of Mary. And so the cloth, actually, I think this spell is called the cloak of Brigid, actually. Not cloth of Brigid. Well, it's called cloth of Brigid, but or cloak of Brigid.
Right.
It's believed to be Brigid's cloak to protect you. So that's something you might want to do. And now that we know Imbolc in just a few days, you could prepare for that.
Absolutely. Celine Ribichard has a question. I'm not sure what it is they're asking. Maybe one of you will recognize this word. Question: what are your advice on practicing theurgy? Spelled Theurgy. Theurgy.
Theurgy, yeah. Theurgy is actually a form of high magic, ceremonial magic. Lord Tony, I think you know a little bit about this too, don't you, Theurgy?
I never heard of it.
No? Okay. Well, I'll explain this then. Theurgy comes from the high magic, the ceremonial magic. And during the Middle Ages, the very elite practiced magic, but it was a very high level, requiring you to study Greek and Latin and Hebrew. And the goal of Theurgy was to unite with Theos, God. That's where Theurgy, T-H-E. So it would be rituals that would bring you close to the divine presence. One of those is for example, the banishing. A lot of you already know this. It's done in Wicca. There's the banishing ritual of the pentagram. And I won't go through the whole ritual. You can look it up. But the banishing ritual is considered an act of Theurgy because it removes unwanted influences. And part of the ending of the prayer is like, may the six-rayed star shine within me. So it's like the symbol of divinity and that you unite with divine power. So I think Theurgy has some beautiful rituals. It's really more high magic. It doesn't really fit with the traditional craft practices, but though some crafters do employ it.
Oh, how fascinating. Christian Druid asked, question: what does it mean when I close my eyes and I see an eye? What does that mean?
It's your third eye opening. You're seeing your third eye. I get that a lot when I start meditating, and I'll see if you ever look at like there's pictures of outer space, and you'll see there's like they call it God's eye. That's the eye that I see every single time I start my meditations. I start to see that, and then I'll start seeing a crystal lattice work forming, and then everything starts going weird on me when it finally decides it's going to go. But that's what you're seeing. Is your mind's eye is showing. You actually have all the functions inside your brain, where there's actually the building blocks of an actual eye by your pineal gland. Everything's there except what you need to actually see out of it with, and you actually have to open it up and use your basically a spiritual eye to use it.
Awesome answer.
I love it. I agree.
Absolutely. Oh, the questions are starting to fly by.
I know. I was just trying to see.
Gab practices burning bay leaves and using those as he burns them when he does protective chants, protective prayers. I love bay leaves. I use them for that, and I love to use them as wish spells. A simple wish spell is to take a bay leaf and write your intent on it. Maybe it's just a couple words or whatever, but write your intent on it and then burn it. And the burning of it sends that wish up into the etheric realm, and it makes it manifest. I love using bay leaves in magic.
I love the smell of bay leaves when they burn.
Yeah, bay leaves are a traditional witch tool. Very magical.
Yep. I like to cook with them sometimes. One time ever I screwed up though, and I crumbled them up in the soup. And you cannot do that because they're like little tiny razor blades. You're supposed to leave them whole in the soup so that you could pull them out before you serve it. One time I did not do that. And, oh man, I nearly killed everybody. It was terrible. But yeah, leave your bay leaves in whole hunks so you can fish them back out.
I always cook with bay. Well, not always, but I like to cook with bay leaves. I actually have a jar. I was like, what are those? I have a jar that's about, that big, full of bay leaves. And I use them for cooking as well as magic work. And what I've actually done, a lot of people don't know this. When you cook like a small ham, you know, like you just want ham for dinner, take your bay leaves and put some bay leaves in with the ham and let that ham absorb that flavor. It is delicious.
Absolutely.
You know, I was at the Vietnamese restaurant today, and they put in a lot of Vietnamese food, basil leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had fresh basil? It's really delicious, and it's a flavorful, similar to bay. It's about the same size. A lot of basil you see is ground that you buy at the store, but you can buy fresh basil. It's really flavorful also.
It's even better when you grow it on your own.
Oh, yeah.
I always have it in my herb garden each year. Bay. Yep. It brings good fortune. It brings prosperity. Few people were asking advice on how to make a money oil. You know, there's a lot of things you could put in it. It kind of resonates with you. There's 1,000,001 recipes for it. Usually when I'll make a money oil, though, I'll definitely have a penny in it because it's copper. In my oil, I'll have alfalfa, bay leaves, and at least 5 to 7 herbs, either 5 or 7 herbs in there that resonate with money. But I'll put those in with the oil. Shake it up, leave it in a windowsill in sunlight for so long, and you're good to go. But there's a lot, just something simple as basil oil, you know, just the essential oil. There's a lot of essential oils of a specific herb that you can use as a money oil, or make a combination. And if you make a combination with your thought and research into which herbs resonate with it, it'll be that much more powerful.
I agree. You know, one of my favorite things to add to a money oil is a little bit of, they call it fool's gold, which is actually iron pyrite. I think it's really cool. And some people get it in flake form and they add it to it. And that's really a powerful thing, too. It's it draws money to you.
Oh, yeah, also, too.
Pyrite is what it's called, I believe.
What's that?
Pyrite is what it's called.
Yeah, pyrite.
Yep. Or I'll actually, and it seems silly, but you can actually take, I think I have some here. You could buy shredded money, and you could buy it online, but shredded money, and it's recycled bills. And you could actually put a little bit of shredded currency, you know, money into your oil as well. Or you could chop up just a single dollar just to put it in there because.
No, that's a federal offense. You cannot chop up money.
Oh, I didn't know that. But you could buy it shredded. You could buy it shredded online.
I have to tell you, if the Secret Service was watching, we can actually be arrested if we're telling people to do it. You can't say that.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't.
I had no clue. But you can buy it. You can buy it already shredded.
You can buy it, and that's legal because it's been shredded by the mint.
From the Federal Reserve,
You cannot deface currency in this country. It's illegal. Don't do that.
People don't realize when they are, you know, like giving money as a gift to, you know, kids or whoever, and they write happy birthday, they're actually committing a crime. They're not aware of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you write on the money, happy birthday, or put a smiley face or anything, you're actually committing a federal crime.
Yeah. No shredding,
Wow.
no defacing currency. Don't do that.
Right.
Poor Lady Angela. I didn't mean to go
I
off
know,
on that.
no. I bought it online. I get it in the bag form from the federal currency where they recycle them and they
Yeah,
sell it
that's
$2.
okay.
It's like
It's
confetti.
officially done that way, but we can't do it ourselves.
Yeah,
Right.
the best way to use money when you're doing a money spell is put the money underneath your oil.
Yep.
You know, fold it up, put it on your table, put the oil on top, and let it charge that way. But don't cut it up. You know, don't go around writing happy birthday or happy or whatever, because you are committing a crime. I can tell you this. I took printing in high school, and I had to actually sign a legal document telling the government, I won't print it, I won't deface it, I won't destroy it, anything. So, yeah.
You know, speaking about putting money under the oil, one of the things that I used to do is I would take a dollar bill and I would fold it into like a triangle form. You know how you fold a flag, or you fold it, they used to call paper footballs. Do you guys remember any of that?
Yeah.
It makes a triangle. That, for me, I used to do that because it's like the triangle of manifestation, because triangles draw energy to you or send it away. So you can make it like a little triangle and put it under the oil to draw power to it.
Wow, that's very good advice. Very good advice.
Yeah, good question, though. Kathy Private says, I've had $1 in my money oil forever. It's potent. Good for you. I love that.
They're talking about kitchen witches. Bob loves kitchen witches.
Oh, yes. I keep kitchen witch in my kids. I have a few, actually. Back in the 1970s, kitchen witches were all the rage. And it was believed you bring it into your house, it would protect your food. It would always make sure you had food in the house and prosperity and guard you against misfortune. I believe that because I think that, you know, when we work with archetypal energy, and that's what that is, we're drawing in a power that is bigger than ourselves, and it will manifest if we're open to it. Absolutely.
You can actually take a lot of people don't know about these cornhusk dollies.
Yep.
You can make a cornhusk dolly into a kitchen witch to protect your kitchen year round. And wherever you need to put one. They're also great as wards throughout the house because nobody will ask you, what's that? You can create these and put them wherever you need them in your home to protect your home.
Christine Ciaziger, thank you, Lady Carol. Christine says, can you talk about a real gold coin with a money drawing oil to attract more money and prosperity? And how do you make a wealth altar? Yes, you can use a real gold coin if you have it, or a real silver coin. You know, like attracts like. I think with a wealth altar, you want to put up things that speak to you of wealth. For example, some people love silver and gold, and that means wealth. But for some people, green means wealth, not gold. So it depends on the person. But what do you guys think about that?
I have a jar that is on my wealth altar that I fill with random coins. Like if I ever come across a Canadian coin, it goes in there, or a coin token, it goes in there. It doesn't necessarily have monetary value, but it's a coin, and it's silver or gold colored, you know, or $50 coins or gold dollar coins, or, you know, I throw those in there because, like Bob said, like attracts like. So that's certainly a thing that I keep on my wealth altar.
What I usually do with mine is I find related items that you know, I can use on my altar. Some people look at just currency, but it's not always currency. It can also be an item. If you have anything that's like a silver ring, you know, or, you know, something that's gold plated, a lot of people have silver platters that they can use. You know, they're still silver, they're still gold, and they still represent prosperity. You can use those on your altar. So look around, see what you have. Sometimes a lot of people have antique silver dinnerware, and they're not aware, hey, I can use that. It's pure silver. You know, or with combination, of course, to make it harder, but the majority is silver. You can use things like that.
You know what I used to use on prosperity altars was aluminum foil, or for our British, aluminum foil. It represents silver to me. Have you guys ever used that?
Absolutely. Angela, what, Lord Tony?
Was it no?
Angela Locke says, in feng shui, a three-legged toad with a coin in its mouth facing the door. Actually, I have little statues on my website, rarewiccaspells.com, of the three-legged toad that has a coin in his mouth, and also little apples. They're also prosperity items. All different things can go on your wealth altar. Definitely coins, different things that to you represent wealth. A picture of Lakshmi, a picture of Ganesha to open up doors and ways to you. A skeleton key is great for opening and unlocking doors to open up your prosperity to come to you. Magnets, things that are hematite to draw energy, to draw wealth. Lodestone is a wonderful one as well.
I'll give you something to think about that people don't. Say you have a payday, right? You go cash your check. You have some money in your pocket. Take a picture of you holding that money and put it on your altar.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
Because that will definitely say, hey, this is what I want. This is what I need. So, you know, even if it's just a small amount, take a picture of yourself, print that picture out, and put it on your altar. And every time you create your altar, you have the picture of yourself holding that money. It also works great for when you're creating your, what is it called, the wish board, you know? Use that idea.
That's great advice. VJ Drive has, I'm sorry.
No, I made something like that a while back. It's just a little, you know, those old Christmas things that you can get for stocking stuffers, the M&Ms, and they look like a giant M&M, and they're just a metal container. Mm-hmm. I took one of those containers and glued a bunch of quarters on the inside of it. Oh, and I turned it into like a wish box.
Oh
wow!
And what I would do with that is, if I needed funding for something, or if I needed money for something, I'd write down my intent on a piece of paper, and I would enclose it inside that container.
Oh wow, that's brilliant!
Oh,
I believe in wish boxes.
I'll have to show you that next
Drive
time.
Yeah, we'd love to see it. VJ Drive says, question for all. If you haven't resonated with a particular god or goddess yet, and you are more nature oriented, on your altar, would you just choose the animal you feel closer to?
Yes. Yes. Because gods and goddesses speak through animals as well. And we all have, if you follow Native American Indians, we have what? We have an animal spirit guide. You can use them if you don't have a direct deity. And it's kind of like me calling on the invisible phone going, hey, Mr. Owl up in the tree, can you tell the gods this for me? That can be used if you don't have a direct link in your own way. Mm-hmm. Use your spirit guides. That's what they're there for. Mm-hmm. Lord Tony, I think that's your department as far as angels and guides.
Usually, yeah.
So you can try that.
I agree with you, Carol, because, like, for example, my mom, she's not particularly into gods and goddesses, but I'll tell you, she definitely has a spiritual connection to the owl. And so the owl is her protector, and that's a guiding spirit for her.
Yeah, a lot of people don't have that connection with deity. You know, for one reason or another, they just they cannot follow. You know, looking at, oh well, this is still a person, and they don't connect to me. You know, like I have my goddess behind me. I can connect to animal and, you know, human. But for some people, they feel like, I guess, threatened in a way. You know, they're not a people person. But if you show them a puppy or a kitten, you know, they go gah. They're like, oh, that, you know, that is what I connect to. So yes, you can use animals on your altar in place of statues of deities, because that is what you connect to. And deity does use animals to communicate to us sometimes.
Well said. Lotus Night Rain has to close out and go now. Lotus Night Rain, thank you for being here with us tonight. Good to see you. Blessings to you. We'll see you next week. That's nice. Yeah. You know, one of the things I think is so important, and, you know, I was reading this in one of my Scott Cunningham's books. He was actually talking about reincarnation, but he said, don't force yourself to believe something just because it's in a book. The craft is about trying things out and finding what's true for you. So maybe they're telling you about the goddess of the moon. You're just not feeling the goddess of the moon. But maybe you'll feel that totem animal, and that for you is the truth. So that's something I encourage people to think, because the craft, and I was reading this also on another website recently, the craft is about, it started out among highly individualistic people. You know, you get 13 witches in a coven, and you'll get 25 opinions on any one subject. And so we're not doctrinaire. We don't say you must believe exactly this way and you can only worship this way. We don't really do that. You know, we have a commonality, but it's not enforced. Does that make sense? You guys know what I'm trying to say?
Basically, we don't go around beating you with a stick because you do it your way.
Exactly.
We use titanium.
That's the easiest way. Yeah, speaking of the titanium.
Uh-oh.
I want to know, because, you know, I'm doing wands. I want to know the property of specific metals, because I want to go into the idea of metal wands. How would I do that?
Google metallurgy.
But, like, are there certain wands that will give you certain properties is what I'm asking?
Yes.
Like on the energy level.
Then I would just go with, like, metaphysical properties of whatever metal you want to look up.
Yep, it'll pop right up.
Okay.
Or there's a great book by Scott Cunningham on I think it's crystals, metals, minerals, magic.
Yeah, Encyclopedia of Metals and Minerals. Yeah. Yeah, that's good one. Yeah. Yeah. You know, somebody just said something about copper in the chat, and copper is a wonderful metal. It's used in a lot of the ancient religions. The ancient Zoroastrians venerated copper. It was used in worship. The ancient Hindus used copper. Well, they still use copper. It's very auspicious. You go to Indian temples, Hindu temples, they have copper vessels for the gods. And sometimes they build the altar out of copper. Copper is also associated with the goddess Venus as well. It's considered a love metal. So if you want to bring some love into your life and work with metal, copper is a good thing. So like with your wands, Lady Carol, you might want to explore copper wands, especially for people who want to use them for love energy. I mean, that's not the only thing they can use for it. Definitely is one area.
Actually, I have a wand. I'm still working on. I'm still doing the painting on it. And what I do with my wands is I do wrap copper on the wands. I use it as an enhancement of whatever, you know, magic you're projecting out.
Right.
This is going to be one of my wands that's up for sale in my shop. But I do use copper on some of the wands. And I also have plain wands for those people who feel like, oh, I don't want all this. I just want it plain. So, you know, I'm offering that option of, you know, both.
That's right. Carol's shop's going to be opening up here very, very soon.
Yeah. This is why I was asking Lord Tony about the properties of certain metals. Instead of just doing wood here, to actually use metal for, you know, those people who want something different. So.
Yeah, I think those are beautiful.
Yeah, I think you're probably best off using copper for it, because that'll be the most economical for you to use and probably the best conductor. Unless you want to try out tantalum, but that gets really, really expensive.
Well, it also depends on the client, because, you know, a lot of people don't want to use the wood. Because I've had some people ask me, hey, can you make it out of metal?
Right.
So that's kind of an experiment I want to look into.
Right. Where's the time gone, guys? Gee Liz.
Oh my gosh.
It's Lord Tony. He's sitting over there with his favorite toy again. Yeah, there it is.
Titanium.
That titanium bends time. I tell you, that's one of its properties. I'm believing it.
I'm gonna drill a hole through this piece, and I'm gonna have it right here.
And then the witching hour will fly by so fast we'll blink and it'll be
Yeah.
And then we'll all be sad because it went too quick.
Yeah, we'll be sad then.
And it'd be my fault.
It's Lord Tony's fault. We love Lord Tony. Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know where the time is on, but you know, guys, we love it that you gather with us each weekend, and we talk about so many amazing things and have a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun tonight. And I tell you, coming to the witching hour just raises my energy. I was dragging a little bit today because, I've been doing a lot of readings. Thank you, Lord, for all the readings. I want to say thank you to all y'all been coming out. If you want to get on my schedule for a reading, I still have some openings available. You call because it's filling up quickly. But you can give me a call at 703-825-3929. I'll have the link below for that. And get on my schedule. Private reading. It's you and I one-on-one for an hour. We cover everything: past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from deceased loved ones, your past lives, your karmic links, your mission, all of that. It's a 1 hour, you and me, and we can do that by Skype or by phone. I'd love the chance to sit down. I've sat down with some of you here tonight in the chat. I've had a great time with you, and thank you for your wonderful support for my work. And I think we've had a really enlightening time. I always say I get as much out of the readings as the people I read for. I really do. And I'd love the chance to read with you. So give me a call. And, a lot of you asked me in your readings, you said, say about how can I work on my spiritual life? Well, you know what? You need to go over to Lady Angela's website, rarewiccaspells.com. And she's got books. She's got incense. Lady Angela, why don't you tell us about what you do over there?
Oh, yes. I got thousands of items, all witchy and all cool, over at rarewiccaspells.com. I got books. I got spells. I got crystals. I got candles. I got daggers, knives, athames. I got all sorts of things, clothes, all kinds of stuff. Take a peek. rarewiccaspells.com. And everybody who's a subscriber of Spirit Channel can use coupon code Spirit Channel to save 10% on every order. And if you're needing some angelic healing, Lord Tony can fix you up with that.
Yeah, I think I could do that. Yeah, I have an angelic healing website, and I have I have the angels that work through me, and all the energy is guided to you for your healing needs. I really don't know what else to say about it. I'm really bad at selling myself, but I let other people do the talking that have had my experiences with the healing from me. And I know there's probably a couple people in chat, and they know what's happened. And so some people on the Facebook, they've talked about it. There's been a recent healing that's been talked about on Facebook, and it went really well. But you can reach me by Googling Lightbringer's Angel, or just check down on the link below the video, and my website's the link to my website is right down there.
Yeah, awesome. Somebody I can't see the name here. My glasses aren't working.
Love.
Love.
His name is Love.
Donated $20 to the show. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you, darling. I appreciate it. And, you know, Lord Tony, I got to tell you, everybody on this panel has been healed by you. And I'm telling you, you got to go see Lord Tony for a session. And guys, don't be cheap. He's a professional, done this for a long time, does a lot of high-level work. Make sure to donate. So Lord Tony's so generous, he'll do it for free. But I'd like to ask you, please don't just take advantage of that. Give him something in return, because he puts a lot out for a lot of people. And I hope that you'll compensate him. Really, you know. Lord Tony, we're all alive here. The show wouldn't be on the air if it weren't for Lord Tony, I'm telling you.
You're all just a bunch of sickos.
Lord Tony.
You're included
on that note.
I have to forgive Lord Tony for bending time with the titanium, because he saved my life so many times. And, you know, Lady Carol also, you know, you've been healed by Lord Tony, haven't you?
Oh, yes, many a time. I mean,
absolutely.
I, you know, told Lord Tony what was going on in my life, and he's like, I'll be with you. Just, you know, go ahead. Let me know what's going on. And before I know it, I mean, I'm feeling that blast of healing energy from nowhere. And, you know, he's helped me through so many situations that I didn't know how to get out of. You know, I do the traditional thing, go to the doctor and all that, and they can't figure out what's going on, or their medicines don't help me. I call Lord Tony, and the next day I'm doing fine. So I just call him now. He's my doctor. I don't need anybody else.
I'm telling you. And you know, Lady Carol, Lord Tony's healings have allowed you to also be here and get your shop going. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we can look forward to?
I am getting ready to open my shop real soon. I've got a couple of wands already ready to go. I actually have more, but these are the ones I've painted so far. And just to give you guys a little detail on some of the work that I do.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Beautiful. Is that opal stone inlaid?
This is, I can't think of the name of it right now. The one that they use for Indian jewelry.
Oh, turquoise.
Yes, turquoise. Thank you.
There you I couldn't see
and
it. You might want to go back just a little bit, Lady Carol, so they can see it's a little blurred.
It's inlaid with turquoise.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's black and gold, painted black and gold. Yeah. And on the end, what I've done is
Lady Carol, I got to interrupt you. Can you move back from the camera so we can see it better?
How about that?
You're too close. Yeah, that's better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because on my screen, I can't tell where I am. It's inlaid with turquoise. It is 17 inches long. Kind of hard to show you, 17 inches.
Gorgeous.
It's 17 inches long. And what I've done is I have black and gold detailing work done throughout it. And on the end, this is something new, because usually I will put a quartz crystal on the end, but this is something I'm trying out. On the end, I have a clear glass marble. And the purpose of that is you can take that clear glass marble and actually turn it into a crystal ball in a sort. Because it's glass, you don't have to fear, you know, oh, if it breaks, it can be replaced. So what I've done is I've created that for those people who want the on-the-go wand that can serve two purposes. You can actually use it. you can actually use this. I don't know if you can see the shininess behind it, and use it to do vision work on the go.
Amazing.
Wow.
And I've done that in 2 different styles.
So you could call that your scrying wand? Is that what you're calling?
Yes, I put all the detail work on every wand. Every wand is different. Every wand is unique. They're painted in different styles as well. There's going to be more description on my site as to the work of each wand. In this one, I have keys inlaid. The impression of keys. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yep.
I'm trying to get it close so you can see that.
Yep, it's gorgeous.
And this is a simple wand for those people who don't want a whole lot of detail work like this. Because some people just don't like the feel of a lot of texture. So I'm kind of trying to come up with different ideas and following different suggestions, you know. And this is one that I'm currently working on. It does have a quartz crystal on the end. And it's an angelic wand, and I'm still process of painting it, so forgive me on that. But it'll give you kind of an insight as to the work that I do.
Gorgeous.
And extremely detailed. And every wand is lightweight. I try to keep them as light as possible because some people are like, oh, it's just too heavy for me to hold. So I try to keep them as light as possible and as balanced as possible. So that when you're working with them, you know, you're not encumbered by weight.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful. Well,
we're excited about your shop coming, and we're going to have more on that in the coming weeks. So definitely keep following here. Well, guys, I don't know where the time has gone, but boy, that time flies by. And excuse me. I want to say thank you for all of you for being here tonight. We've had such a good time. So I want to give a shout out and say good night to all of y'all. Y'all want to say a quick good night?
Good night, everybody. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for being here. And don't miss out next week for our in bulk ritual.
Lord Tony.
Good night, everybody. It's been a great show. I hope to see you all next week.
All right. Thank you. Lady Carol.
Good night, everybody. I just want to remind you, check out Lord Bob's website. Go get some books. They'll help you a lot. Go to Lady Angela. Find some cool witchy stuff. And definitely contact Lord Tony if you're feeling blue. Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Blessed be.
Right.
Well, there you go. Well, guys, we've had a ball. We always have a great time. And I hope wherever you are, you're having a blessed night. Listen, help us out. Support the show by going back after this video posts and like it. Please go back, hit that like button. A lot of you are here, but you don't come back and like it. We need that to keep this on the air. As many of you know, YouTube has been harassing me, trying to shut me down. And we need to show that you support the shows by liking it, favoriting it. Post this video on your website, post it on your Facebook. You can post it wherever you want, but be part of us and help us with this. And you know, we want to be here every week with you guys. So listen, keep it here at Spiritual. We got more coming. Tomorrow is Monday. What's Monday mean?
Horoscope.
Yes, that's right. We're going to have horoscopes. Make sure to be back here because I'm going to talk about what's going on in the stars for all of you. We're going to cover all the major transits for the week, as well as individual horoscopes for all 12 zodiac signs. So you don't want to miss it. Guys, thanks for being here. I love you. We all send our greetings and blessings. And may all of you always blessed be. So motivated.